I am a commissar. I am empowered to deliver justice wherever I see it lacking. I am empowered to punish cowardice. I am granted the gift of total authority to judge. In the name of the Emperor, on the field of combat. The Imperium of Man encompasses untold billions of souls, each divided into castes of soldiers, bureaucrats, and laborers. Corruption and dissent are rife among all branches of humanity's myriad civilizations, which, if left unchecked, can doom entire star systems to damnation and decay. For today, we shall elucidate the branch of the Astra Militarum tasked with maintaining discipline and moral purity within the many organizations of the Imperium. The stoic enforcers of the Officio Praefectus, the Commissars. Following the outbreak of rebellion during the tumultuous era of the Horus Heresy, reforms were required to reorganize the Imperial Army to replace the Adeptus Astartes as the military vanguard of humanity. The misuse of the Legiones Astartes had torn the galaxy asunder. Hundreds of thousands of genetically enhanced super soldiers, now empowered by the ruinous powers, had been let loose across the stars and claimed fiefdoms of their own to practice their dark arts. No longer could the Space Marines be unrestrained, for should another fracture of the Imperium's beliefs incite more infighting among the ranks of the Astartes, disaster would surely follow suit. Dividing the Imperial Army into two distinct branches, the Astra Militarum and Navis Imperialis, no longer destined to be stationed on garrisoned worlds, these mortal souls now bore the burden of reclaiming the Imperium's vast domains from the clutches of Xenos and heretics alike. Yet the legendary discipline of the Astartes had earned them the reputation as warriors who knew no fear, and the officials of the Imperium knew all too well the vulnerable mental states of the rank-and-file soldiers of its mortal military. In order to wage war effectively, a new breed of officer class would be required to enforce the Emperor's will and root out cravens who fled from the front lines. Drawing from the teachings of the disciplined masters of old, these bespoke taskmasters were known as the hunting eagles of the Imperial Army, who tracked down and hunted any who dared to betray their oaths to the Emperor. Said to have wielded electro-scythes when enacting summary execution of deserters, for all their efficiency in culling the cowards of the Imperial Guard, their sparse numbers could never have hoped to stem the tide of betrayers who had turned their back on the Imperium during the Great Civil War. Thus it was decided that every regiment, every naval vessel, and government cabinet would incorporate a dour representative of the master of mankind's wrath, the Commissars. Organized to stand as the incorruptible and merciless antidote to the insidious poisons of chaotic influence and Xenos sympathy, the Officio Praefectus, known colloquially as the Commissariat, began their eternal duty to dispense the Emperor's judgment upon those who dared to turn from his light. Executing millions of souls within the first years of their service, the bloody reclamation of the corrupted domains of the Imperium required nothing less than extreme measures in order to stem the tide of chaos. Traitors lurked within every holdfast and starport, the bolters of the Commissariat never wanting for targets to expunge. For until the foundation of the Emperor's Holy Inquisition, the task of cleansing heresy from the galaxy, root and stem, would remain the Officio Praefectus's solemn duty. Earning a reputation as perhaps the most uncaring and stern organization within the Imperium, the Commissariat benefits from near unimpeachable authority in matters of purity. For 10,000 years, these dour souls have maintained their vigil, with no request for reprieve, resolute in their duty to stand against the malign influence of chaos. Trained within the Schola Progenium from the stock of orphaned souls, this military school raises aspirants for many branches of the Imperium, such as the Astra Militarum, Officio Assassinorum, Adeptus Arbites, Ecclesiarchy, and even the Emperor's Holy Inquisition. Physically and emotionally demanding in their methods of tutoring, the drill abbots of each schola weed the weak from their students by subjecting them to harsh military exercises, hand-to-hand combat drills, studies of piety and marksman training. Those proven to be the most pious, resolute, and unflinchingly loyal souls are deemed worthy of becoming a cadet of the Praefectus, the elite of the scholars dispatched to the many regiments of the Astra Militarum to study by the side of a senior commissar. Formed into squads of 10 to 20 cadets, each potential commissar is armed with lasguns and must follow every order without question from their superior officer. Well respected by the commanders of the guard by virtue of their ferocity in battle, even at the humble rank of cadet, these souls have been trained in excess to even the most elite forces of the Astra Militarum. Utterly devoted to serve the Emperor as his chosen martinets, should they survive the grueling battles ahead in the thickest of fighting, they shall earn the right to be promoted once deemed worthy by their veteran mentor. Idealistic and totalitarian in their loyalty to the master of mankind, these taskmasters of the Imperium shall earn reputations as both heroes and tyrants in the eyes of their peers, for it is the pledge of a commissar to do what is necessary, no matter the consequence. Working closely with the officials of the Departamento Munitorum, the logistical subdivision of the Astra Militarum, these ruthless souls must not only master the arts of warfare, but also administration and propaganda. Assigned not only to Astra Militarum regiments, but also planetary defense forces, known as local commissariats, while subordinate to the Astra Militarum, these smaller branches of the Officio are empowered with enough means to maintain courage in the hearts of their men and to purge those who defy the decrees of the Emperor. Bespoke local branches of the Officio Praefectus, such as the Chalist Commissariat of the Calixus Sector, bear the laurel-wreathed Chalice badge imparted by Lord Sector Marius Hax, and monitor the sector's PDF units and planetary governors for signs of heresy. Also of note are the Vervan Primary Commissariat, or VHPC, within the Sabbat World sector, who act more alike to a secret police force. Regardless of their station or size of their forces, each commissar of the Imperium are among the most autonomous powers within the galaxy, able to declare judgments on the wicked as agents of the Emperor. Due to the Officio Praefectus' nature as a subdivision of the Departamento Munitorum, each commissar, no matter their rank, serves under the jurisdiction of the Lord Commander Militant of the Astra Militarum. The highest achievable rank within their organization, Commissar Generals, rewarded only to the most distinguished veterans of their creed. Responsible for the assignment of fledgling junior commissars to each Astra Militarum regiment, each and every cadet of the Officio is promoted personally by a Commissar General. PDF Commissars oversee all branches of the Imperial military, though exception is given to the members of the Adeptus Astartes, Adeptus Mechanicus, and Adeptus Sororitas due to their independent nature. Typically, each Planetary Defense Force Commissar is many years in age to better capitalize on their vast experiences during their service, with some on rare occasions being appointed as a disciplinary action. Though assigned as the only commissar of their rank for an entire world or even subsector, their role is largely ceremonial in nature. Many know not of their existence within the domains they are stationed, for local commissariats often bristle with their interactions of the senior members of the Officio Praefectus over matters of jurisdiction, which has on some occasions led to the execution of locally appointed commissars by their superiors. Lord Commissars are among the most esteemed of their order, their title achieved through decades if not centuries of diligent service and brilliant battlefield victories. Seen by the guardsmen of the Astra Militarum as near mythical figures, to fight by the side of these veterans of hundreds of wars is a truly awe-inspiring experience. Colonel Commissars are unique in their appointment, for they bear the authority to command entire regiments of the Astra Militarum. Each warrior entrusted with such a rank is a truly extraordinary individual, proven to be not only peerless in their duties as a commissar, but also brilliant in their strategic deployments. Commissar captains act as intermediaries for the commissar generals and their junior ranking peers, often serving at a regimental level of authority, though such a rank varies in the command entitlement they may receive. Commissars are the standard rank of the Praefecta, and act not only as officers of the military, but also political figures, enacting the will of the Departamento Munitorum and the Emperor. Junior commissars are subordinate to their fully commissioned peers and lack their jurisdiction, yet are crucial in aiding their mentors' duties of investigating potential outbreaks of rebellion and execution of the more petty dissidents of the Imperium. Cadets are identified by their use of blue trim on their uniforms, rather than red, and adorn their caps with emblems befitting their fledgling rank. No set duration for their time spent as cadets exists, for it is up to the discretion of their mentor as to when they can ascend to the rank of junior commissar, and should they fail to meet the standards of a true commissar, they are dispatched to the penal legions, or even rogue trader vessels. Each commissar benefits from being armed with among the most well-crafted regalia and protective equipment. Their standard uniform, consisting of greatcoats adorned with gold and red epaulets, red lining on their collars, cuffs, black combat boots, and trousers. Their black undercoats trimmed with either red or gold finery. Most recognizable of their attire are their peaked officers' caps, replete with red lining and stamped with a skull or aquila to signify their role as enforcers of the Emperor. Utilizing additional flak combat armor, such as breastplates, decorated with finery alike to their caps, it is not uncommon for commissars to carry devotional tokens such as pendant aquillas, gospel manuscripts, or war manuals into battle. Issued bolt pistols and chainswords as standard, first entrusted to their care during their commissioning ceremony once graduating the Schola Progenium. Within each high chapel, these immense weapons are blessed to temper the machine spirits within before they claim their first kills. Commissar cadets, not yet worthy of full membership within the Order, carry lasguns or autoguns whilst touring with their respective Astra Militarum regiment, often adopting elements of their assigned regiment's uniform into their panoplies. Practicality is championed above all virtues, and as such, should a commissar be dispatched to serve with the Death Corps of Krieg, they shall don their gas masks to better assimilate to the regiment's cultural beliefs and trappings. Though typically using the weapons first granted to them during their promotion as serving commissars, a rare few request more powerful armaments, should their duties require them, such as plasma pistols. Granted such weapons only should they be deemed worthy by the Praefectus' senior members, due to the proclivity of plasma weapons to overheat and endanger their wielder's life. The Commissariat is sparing with granting the use of such equipment. On rare occasions, some commissars eschew bolt pistols for rifle variants and replace their chainsword with power weapons, for should they blunt the teeth of their inaugural weapon, they are often deemed worthy of more sophisticated alternatives. The rarest of all power weapons used by the Commissariat are power fists, for the use of these bludgeoning tools are extremely difficult in the hands of most mortal soldiers. Yet of all the tools at the disposal of a commissar, their voice alone is the most powerful of all. For to defy the commands of a member of the Officio Praefectus is to defy the Emperor himself, and few are so bold or foolish enough to utter such flagrant objections to his will. To each and every member of the Astra Militarum, the sight of a commissar's bolt pistol instills anxiety and fear within their hearts, for once drawn, it is a foregone conclusion that it shall not be holstered until a new victim has been claimed. Responsible for maintaining the moral purity and spiritual devotion to the Emperor above all, while the majority of those culled by the commissars are enlisted grunts and non-commissioned officers, it is by no means uncommon for high-ranking commanders, or even planetary governors, to overstep their authority and receive a bolt round for their hubris. Using execution not only as a reminder of the victim's compatriots of the price of cowardice, such acts of unwavering devotion to uphold the laws of the Emperor can also inspire the more zealous soldiers of each regiment to fight with even greater ferocity. The presence of a commissar alone often all that is required to maintain order and discipline within even the most frantic of engagements. Only the weakest souls shall turn tail and run, leaving their exposed backs as target practice. Should a commissar fail to instill the requisite fear into the hearts of their men, they shall be murdered in the ensuing mutiny of their charges, their death a sufficient cost for their failure in their duty. Assuming leadership positions when required, should their judgment require the execution of a regimental sergeant, lieutenant, or on unique occasions, even generals, the zeal of a competent commissar has proven them worthy of commanding entire regiments under their own banner. Most legendary of all commissars is the tale of Sebastian Yarrick of the Steel Legion. His defiance to submit the hive cities of Armageddon to the clutches of the prophet of Gork and Mork, Gazgul Mag Uruk Fraka, inspiring all who fought on its soil to new heights of piety. Colonel Commissar Ibram Gaunt of the Tanith 1st Regiment, for his unimpeachable service, has earned him the highest operational rank within the Astra Militarum, Lord Militant. His defiant nature and refusal to allow the legacy of Tanith to be lost, earning him the moniker, the People's Hero. Commissar Caiaphas Cain is among the most lauded heroes of the Imperium due to his over 2 centuries of combat duty, despite records of his death on multiple occasions, leading the Departamento Munitorum to mandate a standing order that Cain shall forever remain on active duty rosters in order to inspire the wider Imperium. Maintaining close ties to the Emperor's Holy Inquisition due to their proclivity to uncover chaos plots and incursions, should the various orders be unreachable for aid, it is the sole duty of each commissar to put an end to heresy. Requisitioning propaganda from the Adeptus Administratum during protracted sieges and times of strife, a single moment of doubt can lead to widespread insurrection, and so each commissar must bolster each citizen's faith in the Imperium. Delivering speeches to inspire their forces before the slaughter of battle commences, their oratory skill remains crucial even in the thick of battle, as their battle cries and rehearsed litanies of the Lectitio Divinitatus can be heard through artillery barrages and the screams of the dying. Their devotional prayers often inciting rivalries between themselves and the priests of the ecclesiarchy. Each in turn competes to exceed each stirring diatribe against their foes, or rousing declaration of piety. Wary of sanctioned psychers and members of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica, the Commissariat must watch for signs of chaotic possession at all times, and are often liberal in their interpretations. Better to execute an innocent than allow the chance for a demon host to spread its malign influence. Establishing information stations to funnel reports of civilian sightings and activities of Xenos sympathizers and co-conspirators, the Commissariat never falter in quelling uprisings long before they burgeon. For the Imperium of Man is a gargantuan machine, rife with turmoil, and the only cure for the failings of mortal men is the heavy hand of the Emperor's disciplinarians.
Winning is everything, but the trick is to know where the winning really is. We're political animals, Ibram. Through us, if we do our job properly, the black and white of war is tempered. We are the interpreters of combat, the translators. We give meaning to war, subtlety, purpose even. Killing is the most abhorrent, mindless profession known to man. Our role is to fashion the killing machine of the human species into a positive force. For the Emperor's sake. For the sake of our own consequences. This has been a tale of the Great Imperium of Man, read by the Remembrancer. The duty of the Officio Praefecta is a morose and harsh burden, yet without their methods, the Imperium would have fallen into ruin millennia ago. It is perhaps among the harshest of truths that empathy and compassion are as much vices as virtues, for when required, discipline is often the only antidote to misfortune. Humility, self-reflection, and criticism all must be adhered to in order to maintain a healthy mind, for should you remain indulgent in carefree flattery, you shall never improve your worst qualities. For to delay one's own vices in exchange for personal growth and moral character shall benefit you far more for the rest of your days.